I'm just saying, man. I just wanted Big Willie Style getting jiggy with it. I mean, that's. I
didn't like that song.
Me either.
What? Even Menendez was in that video.
Okay, I like her.
Gave her big break.
But I don't like getting jiggy with it.
Fine. Hater.
Getting jiggy with it. Who the hell gets jiggy with nothing?
You got a whole dance with it and everything. You remember the jiggy dance?
Nobody jiggied.
Oh,
you jiggied?
You don't want to do
Did
it.
You jiggy?
I used to get jiggy with it.
Nope.
You used to get jiggy with it.
I remember
People got
it,
jiggy?
I actually never saw anybody do that dance ever until just now.
Like, oh, not again. Welcome to the Seriously Lighthearted Podcast, where we take a lighthearted look at life and whatever crosses our feed. And on today's show, we have something we're talking about.
Oh,
take it away.
Money. So, okay. I finally did it. I finally listened to Will Smith's new album.
Oh, snap.
I know, right? Forgot all about it. All about it.
He's got a whole album.
He's got a whole album. And we were talking about the little clips, and we're like, oh, this might be pretty decent, this, that, whatever. So it's called Based on a True Story. It's, again, I'm biased. I'll say that out the gate. I'm biased because I like Will Smith. But it was pretty decent, in my opinion. Like, it still showed that he has the talent. He can still be creative because it's not just, like, one type of rap. It was a pretty good story in rhyme. And of course he touches on many things in his life and being a celebrity and this, that, whatever. Only thing I can't stand is not just with him, I think it's with any rappers of age, is when they try to still be hard. That's where I'm like, just don't try to be hard no more. Like we have seen too much of you.
I never really looked at Will Smith as hard anyway.
True.
He never was.
But maybe not hard, but rough and tough. You know what I mean? Like, you always had that one song where you want to be like, oh, I'm going to get back at the critics. I'm going to get back at whoever. It just doesn't, at our age, it just feels like it doesn't roll.
Coming from Will Smith doesn't ever feel real.
No.
You know, and
of
course,
course,
parents just don't understand.
Right.
Fresh Prince.
Right. In the intro song, which is this barbershop, where essentially it's this barbershop talking.
Yeah, so I've seen the video of it.
That was good, but it's like, for me, I'm like, well, if you didn't curse before, now I know you did in other songs, you saw my beeper bit, but if you don't really curse, like, don't change that. Stay true to yourself. But now he's dropping every curse word you can think of throughout the whole album. I'm like, that's not you, though. Like, I get you're trying to.
But you know what?
Maybe it is him.
Maybe it is him because he did smack the shit out of.
True. And he yelled out, keep my wife's name out your mother out your mouth. So I get it. So I get that he's trying to let out maybe his inner personality or what's behind scenes a little bit more, so we can realize, oh, he's not a mechanical actor and always has to portray himself one way, because he's had a lot of incidents where he wanted to slap people or people are trying to kiss him on his cheeks, and we've talked about that before. But I guess through music, I really just wanted Big Willie Style. You know what I mean? I wanted him to tell his story, but I still wanted Big Willie Style. You know what I mean? But it's not a bad album. I don't know what the critics were saying. Now I get it.
So the critics didn't like it.
Well, he's not going to get. The problem is, he's 50-something years old making music, but he's trying to reach 20-year-olds. F them. Focus on me. Focus on us. Stay 40 and above, because we were already the ones that were with you at the beginning and rode with you through all of this craziness till now. But it's when you start trying to reach deeper and lower into the age bracket, I could do without. But everything else, the way he put his rhymes together, what he talked about, I thought it was good. Now, I'm not going to go play it in my car. You know what I mean?
I'm not going to bump it down Alki?
Not going to go bump it.
Not going to be in the minivan bumping. I think it's actually.
Because I'm still going to be an adult with it. Yeah. So it's something good to, like, if I'm going to be cleaning or doing some activities around the house listening to it. You know what I mean? I'm going to still stay my age hoping, because that's where I want him to be. I want him to stay his age.
Yeah, so I haven't listened to it, obviously, but now I want to.
Should.
So if he is trying to reach the youths, it's like, can you really, when you've reached the age 50 plus,
Right.
like, can you change your stripes to get into their mind? I work with these kids, and I hear the words they use.
Right.
And it's like, actually, a lot of them I like they're great.
Yeah.
But it's like, get into the mind and the word usage and the view. I don't think when you're like, you can't.
Right. But I see the thing is I do this
definitely
for
unk.
I do this for all artists that are coming of age. I mean, I also just listened to Lil Wayne's album, which people have been digging. I don't know if you heard, people are digging into Lil Wayne over this album.
It's in a bad way.
In a bad way, because
is it little or Lil?
I think you know what it is.
Yeah, I just don't think.
Is it 50
I don't think
cent
he's
or is
real-
it 50 cents?
I don't think he's realized he's hit that plateau where you can't reach this new generation of hip hop and rap listeners. You need to stay with who made you big. And this is just my opinion, but you need to stay with that age bracket. So when you see Snoop's doing songs with 21-year-olds, I'm like, nah, do them with their same group and the same range, because to me that just makes more sense. Because I'm telling you right now, you're not gonna get a lot of, if you're Snoop and you drop a new album, you're not gonna get a lot of 20-year-olds buying it or listening to it. They're just not gonna relate it because you're not changing the way you rhyme, your cadence. Half the time they can't even change the topics. They get stuck where they're at. Where they plateaued. You know what I mean? So
I've often thought about that, like with Andre 3000, and he stopped rapping.
Just stop.
Because why did he stop?
I don't know. You brought it up, so I was hoping you were gonna enlighten us.
I think that's because he was like, I'm an older guy.
Yeah.
What do I have to say right now in this genre of rap?
Right.
That's going to be meaningful. And so I think that's kind of what maybe you're pointing to a little bit. It's like,
Yeah.
but I also think like he could still do it. I mean, it's still like a
absolutely.
music form. You put together the rhymes, and
Right.
but again, so maybe he was kind of hitting on something like, as far as like, I'm this age. A lot of this music's consumed by youth.
Right.
Because when you're older, I mean, like, here's the thing about our generation. Like, and I think about it a lot. It's like, we still know who these new artists coming out are, right? But my mom didn't know the artists her kids were listening to and didn't listen to them. Now, I might not listen to all the artists the young kids listen to,
Right.
but I still will know some of these people
Right.
that are popular, that are 21-year-old singers.
Right.
I don't listen to rap that much
Right. We know.
anymore. I used to.
Right.
But I'm old school, as you know.
Yeah, you're a Run
That's
DMC.
where I'm at.
We get it.
I don't know about that. Yes, I was, but I was still just a child when they came out.
Well,
But so I think that's an interesting point. And then he went on to do something
yeah.
where he felt he could express himself.
Yeah.
Flute.
Yeah. I remember, I forget how the line exactly went, but Jay-Z said that in the line. He said, I can't rap about being in the hallways all the time because I'm not in those hallways.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm no
hood
longer
no
in that
more.
life. I'm a businessman. I'm worth billions.
Right.
I just
am
inked
doing
this
and
contract.
Exactly.
Signed this. Yeah.
So it's like I can't talk about being in the streets if I'm no longer in the streets.
But here's the thing, and that's part of what I was saying with Andre. It's like, okay, now you're an elder now, homie.
Right.
I shouldn't say you're an elder now, sir.
Right.
Now can't you bring forth some elder rap? Is there an elder?
Well,
You know what I mean? Like wisdom.
I think the fact that their
you're
skill
not-
level doesn't change, but it's just what they talk about. Because even a line in that barbershop song, kind of introducing the album, they said like, "What has Will even been in lately?" And his or one of the songs, and his rebuttal was like, "Have you never heard of Aladdin?" And I'm like, "See, that's not a flex.
Yeah.
It's not. You know what I mean? Like
Bit
I've
old.
seen Aladdin, but that's not gonna look cool in their eyes. Yes, you're still around. You're still active. You shot it out Aladdin. You know what I mean?
But my point was with Andre and these older folks is like, do you always this? So rap isn't always about being in the streets. There was a whole period where rap wasn't about being in the streets. You had a whole bunch of people who they weren't talking about this. They were talking about other things.
Yeah.
You know, now they might have brought some of that aspect in because, you know, if you lived in certain areas, that maybe is part of your reality. But there was also a lot of middle class kids living in the suburbs who became rappers.
And that's the part of it too. Is like while listening to Lil Wayne's, I was like, you're not doing that. You're not there anymore. You know what I mean? Like you've been wealthy for a while, and yes, you've gotten in trouble. You've done this, and you've been amazing for most of your career. But I just felt like this was finally like everyone just woke up and was like, oh, you can't still talk about that though.
So Pitbull,
you're too old now.
Pitbull,
yeah,
Pitbull.
That's his name. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to formulate my thought.
Get it out.
I never really listened too much to Mr. Worldwide.
Okay.
But now, was he at one point in time, did he have a rough?
Just rap.
Yeah, but did he talk a little bit?
Yeah.
It was rough.
It was rough.
But now what's he doing? He's in all the party songs.
Well, he had a whole, I forget how it went, but he had a whole backstory on why he changed his style. He did that. I think he did that on purpose because he knew that he could reach more people. To be Mr. Worldwide, you have to reach the world. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he did that through dance songs. He did that through still rapping.
Sure.
But he was like Flow Rider. You can touch more people when everyone can relate to it and kind of enjoy it versus just putting yourself in this one market.
Now, I think it was on NPR. I was listening to it, and it was about him and maybe interviewing him and his mom and such. And I think his mom said something like, well, he's been there and he did all that. And now he's in a stage where he's enjoying life. And this is what his music is about now. Yeah. I think it was his mom.
I believe that.
And I was like, so that shows an evolution of like, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
This is where I'm at. Yeah. And this is what I'm going to put forth into the world.
Yeah.
Which, take it or leave it. You don't like Pitbull no more or whatever.
Yeah.
Mr. Worldwide.
I still remember going to Q93 Summer Jam. And he was supposed to come with Lil Jon because he was on a song with him and this, that, whatever. They never showed up, but he did. So he still performed here. Me and my brother just going nuts. This whole gorge of people. See, I did that. The whole gorge of people were just sitting there because they had no idea who he was. But of course, we knew him. He didn't even have an album out, but we were just like, oh. But that was like rap.
Yeah.
And now he can go to the gorge now and sell out easily because he's worldwide. His music's reaches more. So
I'm talking about the evolution, but yeah, you're right. And so it was interesting that like Andre 3000, his thing was like, well,
different.
I'm not in this phase. Like, what do I have to talk about or to offer in the rap realm? But it made me think, like, does rap have to just be that?
No, and if you listen to Andre's songs, there's Outkast. A lot of their songs have always evolved.
Sure.
The whole album, where they had the double disc and they each had their songs on each disc. That was, Hey Al and Love Below, or what was it? Speakerbox and Love Below. Mm-hmm. That was like, if you listen to Stankonia and AT Aliens and then went to theirs, you could see their evolution of doing more with rap, you know what I mean, and what they talked about. But he just was like, now I'm older, I'm done, I have kids, I have this, I have that.
So Will Smith, well, what's tell me the title. What's it? Was it Will Smith?
Yeah, that's
based on a true story.
Based on a true story. So it's
Fresh Prince is done. Is Fresh Prince is put to bed?
Autobiography. Yeah,
got it.
Well, he hasn't gone by Fresh Prince in a long time.
Yeah, it's Will Smith.
But it's kind of like an autobiography of everything he has going on, his feelings, his emotions, and just everything. Because he speaks on like a lot of stuff, but it's overall message is I'm still me. I'm still human. We make mistakes. We bounce back. We conquer, so forth. And of course, for me, like I always thought Will Smith, just some of the inspirational things he's talked about in quotes, still relevant to me.
Sure.
But a lot of those are in words now or in his rhymes. So I think that's what grabbed me. I'm like, man, I still like what he's talking about.
Yeah. I think I'm going to listen to that on my ride home. Butter, you going to listen to it on your ride home?
Probably not.
I love her honesty, man. I love Butter's honesty. Most times she's like, not going to listen.
I mean, I might listen to it at some point, but not on my ride home.
But
while you're cleaning,
driving,
doing housework, mowing the lawn, perfect.
Mowing the lawn.
Perfect. Housework. But I'm just saying.
I never think to put headphones on.
so that's an appropriate, age-appropriate listening experience for Will Smith.
Right. I'm just saying.
Hard work.
You're just doing chores and stuff.
Hard work.
That's
man.
an age-appropriate activity for Will
man.
Smith listening. Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you listened to Lil Wayne's?
No.
What's that called?
Be prepared. Carter 6, which is part of his Carter series.
Got it.
Which, again, Carter 1 through 3. Well, 2, yeah. For me, Carter 2 was okay. Carter 1, ridiculously good. Then the Carter 3 was what blew him up. And then I think 4 and 5 were okay. They had their songs. Just Carter 6, I think, and we also expect so much of Lil Wayne, I think. Or at least people do, because you think Lil Wayne is such a big artist. But I think to me, I'm like, oh, he's older now. That's the first thing I thought when I was listening to it.
So do you think this could be something that you listen to with this sense of judgment now, but come back to later and think, oh, this is better than I thought?
Possibly. I definitely will go back to it because I already had a little bit of preconceived judgment because I read reviews and people were always saying, oh, no, this ain't it and this, that, whatever. So I already had that in my head, but I was trying to just listen to it with an open mind, but I'll have to go back to it. Because even with any artist, sometimes you hear it the first time, you're like, but it takes a couple to like really warm up to you and get you. Like, for instance, I remember Biggie's More Money, More Problems. I was like, this is all right. When the CD came out, all right. But he has so many better songs, in my opinion. And I remember my cousin being like, this is going to be the summer song. This is it. And that CD came out in like February or March of that year. He's like, this is going to be the summer hit. I'm like, this ain't that good. It was the summer hit. He actually called Flow Rider's Boots with the Fur, whatever that song is, low. He called that one too. I don't know how he called it. He was on a streak. But it was like, some songs take you a while to warm up to, and you're like, oh, okay, this is not bad. Yeah. That's how it was for those songs.
Let's see here. So you mentioned Snoop, and I'm going to, again, I'm not a connoisseur of rap or hip hop these days, but I think Snoop is still relevant in the culture.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Will Smith is there, but, he kind of went away in acting and, music wasn't.
Yeah.
But Snoop's still kind of been there, I think.
I
He's
think
still been very relevant in the world and the culture.
I think he's always stayed rooted in music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He always has. But I've also been listening to him sing children's songs because he has a children's songs album. So my perception of him is different.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. So I'm listening to these hip hop children's songs. I'm seeing him do Martha Stewart stuff. So he's still Snoop. He's still amazing. I'm not dogging him. I'm just saying, like, you can't talk about gangster stuff, in my opinion, anymore. You know what I mean? Because you haven't always shown yourself as a gangster. You gangster this moment, this moment. Well, I guess Martha Stewart's kind of gangster too. But you know what I mean? Like, you're showing all these different moments that together they don't. Before, all we knew was murder was a case. We knew you as this entity only.
Okay. So, older guy was a gangster. No, I know. Once a gangster, always a gangster.
He's matured and grew up, and he's evolved.
He said, "Once a gangster, always a gangster."
Well,
no.
I wouldn't say that, but I'm just telling you.
That's smart. Yeah.
If you make another album,
gangster.
If you make an album, and if you're any rapper that was of our generation, you're older. Most likely, you're all older than 40. I would be more. I would rather listen to you with the artist that you came up with of your era. Do a song with Nelly, Luda, all those guys. But you start throwing in some of these 20-year-olds that, like Kodak Black and them, I just don't feel like they all mesh well.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
The styles
and
things.
things. Your styles don't mesh. I'll listen to LL. LL wants to drop LL Cool J. If he wants to drop an album tomorrow, I'll listen to it. But if I start seeing the features being all these 20-year-olds, I'll probably pull back on going towards it, and you know what I mean?
So where I was trying to go with this is these are artists, right? They're creating art. We take a look at actors that take on all these different roles.
Right.
Why is it that we're critical of an older rapper who's been a millionaire for the last 30 years and has not been a thug for the last 25? Because if they grew, it took them 5 years to grow out of that. Oh, damn, I got money now. I can't f this up. Why can't we still listen to them be hard because it's artistic expression when we know they're not being hard anymore, but we know that they know what it means to be hard and they can still express it in good rhymes?
I got a perfect example for this. It's because we still internalize ourselves at that time and where we're at now.
Okay.
Used to be a gangster myself. But now you can catch me riding the scooter down the sidewalk at any given moment. We've changed, you know what I mean? So I can't see you that way if I can't see myself that way when I first listened to you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I see you on Martha Stewart. I see myself riding the scooter. We've changed. You know what I mean?
I think, yeah.
No, he didn't.
No.
It's like the relatability of it. Like
Exactly.
You relate to them, and so then when they're portraying what you related to back then, it's like, but that's not who we are.
Yeah, I believe who you. Now, if you talk about money and cars, yes, that's still relatable to your life because you got that.
Yeah.
But you talk about
except the ones that talk about money and cars that don't have money and cars and
hoping to have money and cars.
Or used to have money in cars, no longer have money in cars. Now they have the IRS on their back.
Pay them taxes.
Pay them taxes. Pay
yourself a good accountant. You know, so I'm just like in rock and roll, you know, people age out too.
Yes.
You know? But even with like rappers, like I'm like they're still touring, you know what I'm saying? But they're in small venues and they're still doing their thing, and
which is okay because again, that's why they have the '90s tours. They have these tours where they collectively come together, and we could pick 5 out of the 10 we want to see, but we're still going to the whole show. Now, yes, they can't go sell the same arenas because half of us can't stay up that late anymore. You know what I mean? Relatability. We have changed. We've gotten older.
My knees hurt.
But, you know, they can still do these things collectively together. But things have changed, you know? And I've seen that. I saw that recently. I think it was like a Little Scrappy show or something like that. And it was like, they're still getting venues. They're much smaller. Half the time you can tell they still enjoy, but they're not doing new songs. They're doing what got them there in the first place, you know? And that's what half the times when we go to these collective shows, that's what we want to see. We want to see what got you there in the first time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I go to a New Edition concert, I don't want to hear nothing new about it. I want it to be your old. I want everything I know.
Like when I went to the Bone Thugs and Harmony concert, the one you claim you went to, but you did not go. They played it was all their old. It wasn't like they were coming out there trying to do new nothing. It was all the classic Bone Thugs songs that you love.
That's who's coming to it.
Exactly.
Nobody knew. And they were actually just in town a couple months ago. They're still out there doing it.
Yeah.
So that's, If
any artist says, so we just want to try something, new, then see if you guys like it, that's what I'm going to go get me a drink. Because I don't want to hear that bullshit.
Of our new songs.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Bone Thugs. Yeah. Come on, we're out.
See me shuffling out there. Like, I don't want to hear no
shuffling out there, got your walker. You can walk. But see, like Will Smith, he ain't that because he's a superstar. He's an
icon.
He's an icon. He's
an icon.
He became something. Same with Snoop.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna see Snoop touring Tulalip Casino, I don't think you will. You know, how old you gotta be? You gotta be in your 70s, 80s. Snoop's out there.
No, because Snoop could still.
What?
I don't know. Yeah,
I
don't know.
Snoop Doggy Dog.
I don't know.
Yeah. So there's this. I think it's interesting. I'm going to listen to the album on the way home. Put it on. Can I get it on YouTube?
It's like Ice Cube coming to Puyallup Fair or Washington State Fair, whatever we call it now. I'm like, I don't want to see Ice Cube at a state fair because I feel like it's going to be all these youths that have never seen them. I don't know how many adults are going to get out to go. You think? I
don't think.
You don't
they
think
would
so?
go to it? No, I think it would be adults wanting to reminisce.
He's at the fair.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I didn't realize he was at the fair.
It's like when Boys to Men comes to the. They've been to the fair.
I guess it's the same as going to a casino or something like.
It's all
your
people that
age
wanna
demographic's
go
going to go. Yeah.
You can do it. Put your back into it.
Cube's coming to. Hey.
That wasn't Boys to Men, but that's fine.
Hey.
Oh, you want the attention?
Hey. Yeah. Cube ain't going to the freaking Puyallup
It
Fair.
was an example.
Okay, well, I thought you were serious because he's selling out Climate Pledge. He's coming to Climate Pledge September 19th.
I don't think there's a big difference between Climate Pledge and the Puyallup Fair.
Climate Pledge Arena.
When you say sold out, you know they don't sell out every single seat like it's a hockey game, right?
Yeah, they're going to have like 10,000 people, 20,000
This is what I'm saying. Climate Pledge holds more. They don't give them all the seats. They don't say, hey, you're going to go
they have
all
to
the
have
way
a
up to the
stage.
ceiling.
But it's not the freaking Puyallup Fair.
I don't know. It's just indoors.
He's still doing arenas.
Technically, yes.
Cube.
But anyway,
Smoke
you
this
can do you can do an arena with 5 people. Yeah, it still makes it an arena. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And they book out so far in advance, they might be giving free tickets out. We don't
That
know.
just reminded me, though, of, did you guys ever see that interview of 50 when he was saying that he saw Ja Rule's tickets on Groupon, so he bought out like the whole first rows of like the
so that
so it was all empty.
If he was performing, they were all in the back.
Yeah.
That is brutal. Brutal.
It is. But here's the thing. Anybody who's running that show would be like, everybody move up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And you're still going to get the money.
Move up.
But it's the fact that 50 can get on social media and say, I bought all these to help you.
Sorry, that took us down a whole other road. But that just reminded me of
Anyways.
No, that's interesting. I remember seeing that video, and I thought it was an interesting video of the Will Smith. I thought, throwing in themes, like even talked about being entangled, and I thought, that's hella funny. And I was like, that was very Will Smithy. Very Will Smithy. So,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Old rappers.
I'm still willing to give them a shot. I just expect certain things of them.
I guess, yeah.
I'm old and judgmental. What can I say?
I probably would have expected the call out to not specifically, but that type of vibe with it. Yeah. I would have the Aladdin and that kind of thing being called out. I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that from him.
I'm just saying, man. I just wanted Big Willie Style getting jiggy with it. I mean, that's I
didn't like that song.
Me either.
What? Even Menendez was in that video.
Okay, I like her.
Gave her big break.
But I don't like getting jiggy with it.
Fine. Hater.
Getting jiggy with it. Who the hell gets jiggy with nothing?
You got a whole dance with it and everything. You remember the jiggy dance?
Nobody jiggy. Oh, you jiggy?
You don't want to do it.
You jiggy?
I used to get jiggy with it.
Nope.
You used to get jiggy with it.
I remember
people got jiggy?
I actually never saw anybody do that dance ever until just now, other than in his video.
They were in their kitchen cleaning and listening to his album. Right. Getting jiggy all by themselves.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
It just reminds me of before DMX passed, I was like, just make gym music. His music was so great to the point where now it's like, just make gym music. Just get us riled up in the gym.
Yeah.
One more rep.
I just want to be like repping and just start barking and have my headphones on, everyone looking at me. You know what I mean?
Funny.
We don't know how to end the show.
Getting jiggy with it.